Yo,
What's poppin', player?
it was good, cuz.
You saw that video Legend put up this morning, bro?
What kind of bum ass video this nigga put up, man? Same nigga that missed the podcast last night.
He made an overrated players list.
What? Let me check this.
You got
video out real
Carmelo
quick, son.
Anthony overrated, bro. Check it out.
First, we have Carmelo Anthony. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about why Carmelo is so overrated. Simply because we're living in his career right now. And a lot of us do remember when a lot of people used to over-exaggerate his productivity on the court. But I will hit a few key points when it comes to Carmelo. Now, Melo was most known for his volume shooting, the productivity he brings to a team on the offensive floor. But when it comes to the offensive floor and what he actually does for a team, throughout his career, that has been over-exaggerated. Even though he does.
No, but seriously, man, let's really take a second in this video and really debate whether or not Carmelo Anthony is overrated. I don't believe he's overrated. I mean, Carmelo Anthony plays in a big market such as New York. There are a lot of Knicks fans here. I mean, you got Stephen A, Spike Lee, all promoting the Knicks all over the place. Hell, I'm even promoting the Knicks. I mean, you could find another YouTuber like me making videos on NBA topics so close to their team. There's probably one. But I mean, you talking about volume scoring and the defense. Well, you just made a video about Damian Lillard a week ago, who is a volume shooter, who doesn't really play defense anyways, but he's underrated. But that's besides the point. I mean, I'm not going to complain about players like Chris Paul, who never made it to a conference finals. But, you know, you can't do anything about that in basketball, man. It's a team sport, even though football is more of a team sport than basketball. But anyways, let's get into it. I mean, first of all, let's take a look at Carmelo Anthony's achievements. Looking at his entire career so far, he has won an NCAA championship, made the NBA All-Rookie First Team, a 9-time NBA All-Star, probably be a 10-time NBA All-Star by the time this season's over. 6-time NBA All-NBA team. He led the league in minutes 1 year, was a scoring champion, which means he led the league in scoring 1 year. 3-time Olympic gold medalist, and also the scoring leader in the Olympics, probably be passed by Kevin Durant sooner or later. But if you look at some other extraneous records that people don't like to talk about, or sometimes are not talked about, he's only one of 3 players to average 20 as a teenager, meaning of course he's in 18 years old. And those other players are Kevin Durant, LeBron James. The only player to score 60 points and have 0 turnovers. He also had 0 assists in that game. He scored 62 points. But in that game also, he also had 60 points with less than 10 free throws, man. Less than 10 of those points. So combined with that fact, that's a lot of scoring from the arc, from mid-range, from 3-point. He was scoring a lot from shooting that night. And one of the 3 players in the NBA history to score 40 points in 3 consecutive games while shooting 60%. And the first player to have a 20-20 game as a small forward, 20 points, 20 rebounds. Melo's actually a pretty good rebounder now at the small forward position, averaging about 7 to 8 rebounds a game now. But yeah, these are just some of the stats that Melo had over his career so far, man. Some of the achievements, some of the accolades, some of these NBA players today don't even really have. I mean, how many NBA players do you know have an NCAA championship? Sure, that doesn't matter in the NBA level. Also been a part of the NBA All-Rookie First Team. I mean, when you look at the resume, and he's building up a resume, this is his resume right now, man, and he's an elite scorer in the league. That's what he is. That's what he gets paid to do. That's why he gets all the recognition, and that's why he gets favored by a lot of players in the NBA.
He actually operates on as a player. I think players tend to overrate Carmelo because other players understand what he does is incredibly difficult. To master every facet, and you went through it very articulately the other day, to master every facet, not of offense, but of scoring, to the extent that he has, it's difficult to master any one of those facets. He's mastered all of them. So other players look at him and marvel because they know he does extremely difficult things better than just about anyone ever, and they mistake that for thinking because they're difficult to do and he's mastered them and there are a lot of things that he can do, that means he's a great NBA player or an NBA.
Yo, YouTube, what's cracking like a jacket smacking? It's Wolfman for video, and let's get right into the gist of it, man. Carmelo Anthony, is he really overrated? Now, in my personal opinion, okay, maybe he could be overrated, you know. But that's you people, man. That's the fans. First of all, people don't understand. Carmelo Anthony gets a lot of hate, man. Carmelo Anthony made a couple of bad decisions in his career. First of all, the first decision was not joining LeBron James in Miami Heat. When he could have did that, he could have waited for the Knicks, or he could have just waited till free agency. He didn't have to force that trade. That was the first decision he made. That was a mistake. And the second time he was a free agent again, he could have left. He could have still got some of his money, but again, he chose to stay in New York and get paid that $125 million contract, which isn't that much right now. But again, he had two chances, two opportunities to leave to go to a winning team. So if Melo's going to talk about losing and stuff like that, then he's got to blame himself on not trying to join a contender. But then if he joins a contender with LeBron James, people are going to be like, wow, what a super team. Wow, look at him squirming over there to LeBron James. But when he's on a team by himself and nobody's trying to help him get support, the management, at least they did something this season, but no one's been trying to get him some help, some support. No one wants to come to New York. I mean, there's a couple reasons why people don't want to come to New York. One, the management, of course, the presidency, James Dolan. This organization has been just atrocious in the last couple years, in the last couple of decades, and like that. But two, another reason why people don't want to come to New York and play, because it's just the expectation is ridiculous, bro. I mean, when you got niggas like Eli Manning winning 2 Super Bowls in the last 10 years. You got Derek Jeter, who won the World Series back in 2008, won World Series back in the 2000s. And NBA, we haven't won a championship in like, what, 40 years? The expectation to win in New York is really crazy, man. And New York fans, Knicks fans, you're going to get roasted by Stephen A. Smith. You're going to get roasted by all those celebrities on the first row. Like, you're going to get roasted by me. You might get roasted by Spike Lee. I mean, Jesus Christ. New York is difficult to play in. That's why I don't blame players like Kevin Durant from shying away from coming to New York, because yo, it's the pressure here is immense, and I like to thank Kristaps Porzingis for taking that pressure. But back to Carmelo Anthony, man. I mean, Carmelo Anthony is an elite scorer. Why do I say elite scorer and not elite offensive player? Because in my opinion, just because you put up the stats doesn't mean that you're great at something, man. Like James Harden averaged 29 points per game. Does that mean he's the second best scorer in the NBA? No. If you had to choose a draft right now and choose who you want to pick on your team to score the basketball every possession, who are you taking? Are you taking Kevin Durant, or are you taking LeBron James? LeBron James, a proven champion. LeBron James, someone who can easily still averaging about 26 to 28 points per game. And when their playoffs come, no one can stop him. No one can stop LeBron James. If he wants to play, of course LeBron James doesn't have that jump shot, but that's why he's not a scorer. But offensively, he can be regarded as unstoppable. And once he gets in that rhythm with that jump shot, he's literally virtually unstoppable. But Carmelo Anthony, like Max Kellerman said, does a lot of difficult things and masters them at scoring, not offensively. So sometimes, yeah, he might shoot 45%. Most of the seasons. I'm not debating that, man. The stats are right in Legends of Winnings videos. The stats are right. In the playoffs, some of the games he had were atrocious, man. And I get on Carmelo for that. I hate when this man Carmelo shoots 0 from 7 from 3, 1 from 6 from 3. I'm like, can you at least shoot better from 3-point range? But I understand that back in the day, at least when I was watching the Knicks playoffs, he was on a team by himself, man. Carmelo has been by himself for a good portion, for the Knicks at least. Finally have a good point guard in Derrick Rose. This is why I'm hyping up this Knicks season a lot. But you wonder why a lot of people, in the NBA, they respect Carmelo Anthony. They respect his game. A lot of people say he doesn't play defense, but he's an average defender. Sometimes he plays defense. You can see him getting some swipes, some nice clean sweeps, some blocks. He can play defense. I'm not saying he can play defense like Paul George, but it's just the effort. The effort needs to be there sometimes. Sometimes I'm watching the Knicks games last season. I'm like, let's go, Melo. That's the defense I want. And some Knicks fans can see this, but sometimes that effort is missing. And players like James Harden, they really, really don't have any effort on defense. But when you have such an offensive load to hold, it doesn't really make it excusable. But sometimes you just got to be like, okay, I guess maybe. But Carmelo Anthony is one of the second most favorite players out of all the rookies in that rookie survey that was taken. He's ranked second in the favorite players. Now, why is he ranked second in favorite players, tied with LeBron James and tied with Russell Westbrook? Because people love offense, man. And people they don't care about just Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry was rated below Westbrook, LeBron, and Carmelo, and Kevin Durant, his teammate. Because Curry just does some basic stuff. I mean, I'm not saying Curry isn't a superstar, but the way he plays the game is really basic. Anyone could go out there, shoot jump shots, like in the park, go to the local rec center and just shoot jump shots. But if you're going to do what Carmelo Anthony does, triple threat moves, isolation, hezzy, the freaking, what do you call that thing? What is that? The jab step. The jab step he does is one of the best in the NBA. The spin moves, the post game, the post hook, the post fadeaways. I mean, he does a lot of crazy stuff. The contact he takes in the paint. I mean, his offensive moves is what makes him an elite scorer. That's why even though he's getting up there in age, 32 years old, still able to get 21 points per game. Probably I predict this season will average 24 points per game at 33 years old. His offensive moves let him be like that. It's just his jump shot and the way his ability to finish at the rim will probably diminish over the years. But his offensive moves, his offensive intelligence is unmatched in the NBA. And that's why a lot of players praise him. And that's also why he's one of the most difficult players to guard. And this is not just me saying this and watching the games. No, Kobe Bryant is quoted saying this. LeBron James is quoted saying this. Even Paul Pierce has him in the top 5 most difficult players to guard in the NBA. So you're talking about a 3-time NBA championship in LeBron James, best of the decade, best of this era right now. Kobe Bryant, who just retired, 5-time NBA champion, and Paul Pierce, who's won an NBA champion and has been through a lot in his entire NBA career. So yeah, look at the numbers. The numbers do show some exploits, and Carmelo Anthony wasn't the greatest team player, but on the Knicks now, he's looking more and more to be a better overall player, not just scoring, man. So yeah, man, I mean, leave your thoughts in the comment section. And first of all, another segment I love, like I said yesterday, is looking at these comment sections in other people's videos because it's just hilarious. So let's take a look at this comment section. Carmelo is not overrated. The only reason why his field goal percentage is bad is that he always gets the ball in the post, and in ISO and Wade can't get that high percentage shots, which is true. Which is why Kevin Durant went from OKC to the Warriors, because he wants easier shots. I mean, ISOing is not easy to do, man. Like I said in the beginning of the video, go to the local park. You can shoot around like Steph Curry, but to ISO like Carmelo Anthony and do all that work on offense and just tell everyone to get out your way, that's kind of difficult to do. Next comment we have here, you put Melo on this list, bro. I mean, he had his facts, man. He has facts. I mean, people said James Harden was overrated. Mike Kozema said James Harden is underrated. I think James Harden is rated fairly, in my opinion. He said, Knicks for Life says, you also have to remember Melo had his best team in the West with AI. They made it to the second round of, he was in the East. He might have been into the NBA Finals. Yeah, maybe. I mean, AI was a pretty cool teammate. AI and Melo was a crazy combo. This is a reach. No one really thinks some of these guys are that great, especially Vince. Now, I don't think Carmelo is a great player. I mean, I think he's a good player right now in his career. Of course, before he was like in that great, but I always thought Carmelo as a second tier star. You got the first tiers that are like LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Then you got the strong second tiers like Paul George, Carmelo, DeMarcus Cousins, and players like that. So I put him in that category. If you put Melo in there because he plays no defense, whereas James Harden, don't tell me that Harden has to carry his team on offense because he's on a team of scrubs. Then give me one good teammate at Melo besides an Agent Iverson, Billups, or 50 Days of Amari. That's true. I mean, I said this in the videos like a month ago, like who's Carmelo's best teammate on the New York Knicks. And to be honest, he didn't really have a really good teammate other than J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith, for crying out loud, if your best teammate is J.R. Smith, I mean, we got another problem here. But I mean, legend of winning. He did say James Harden was severely overrated. I mean, but you ain't gonna go. I know you won't go. I know you ain't gonna make a reaction video to that Michael Zema video. But the next comment, watch out for a fuming Waffle Man after seeing Melo on this list. True. I mean, I'm not mad, bro. I mean, I just like to tick people off in the NBA, but fans get too like. I mean, listen, man. This is another man's opinion, man. I got my own opinion. I'm gonna enjoy this next season. Because it's not about the individual, man. I mean, I am a Melo fan. I love Carmelo. A lot of people like Carmelo because he's a scorer, man. I mean, come on. It's just like NBA 2K. No one's gonna make a player in NBA 2K based around lockdown defender. I mean, Jesus Christ. You're gonna make a player that can do offensive moves, all that flashy stuff, all that dribble. You wanna be like that. You don't wanna be like a defender. No one looks up to Tony Allen. Come on, man. No one looks up to Tony Allen. I mean, he's a great player at defense, but come on. And this guy says, I don't think it's fair to Carmelo overrated, his best teammates ever. Yeah, people keep bringing up the teammates. I mean, I guess. Legitimate arguments. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm out for now. Peace.